Let's cast our minds back to February. Not really. Let's just go right back to the start. All right, let's cast our minds back to February. Derek Chisora fought Otto Valida Manchester as part of his retirement tour, and that was billed as a eliminator, an IBF eliminator. Now, understand, not a final eliminator. It was built as an eliminator. The final eliminator was going to be contested between Martin Bakole and F.A. Jagba this coming May. Martin Bakole, or really his bank balance, had other ideas and decided to take a fight with Joseph Parker on a couple of days' notice, arriving in the country that morning and shockingly not winning. Now, he still has that fight with F.A. Jagba, but it is no longer a final eliminator as well. Bakole is now ineligible, but apparently by obviously taking this fight, it means now a Jagba waives that right as well. Then Frank Warren started going on interviews and saying that Derek Chisora is actually now IBF mandatory. Now, I understood that given the fact that he's probably going to bypass a lot of these, he would be very highly ranked given the fact that it was an eliminator, which is just to give you a high ranking. So I could understand him saying Chisora is going to be up there, or maybe will get an eliminator fight. Yeah, I thought maybe it's possible. Yes, of course. But they announced him as mandatory, which is shocking in of itself because, yeah, he's not had a bad run of form, Chisora, but where's the final eliminator? They didn't do that for Hrgovic a couple of years ago when people were basically avoiding him, yeah. I want a better word, yes, what they were doing. They didn't do that for Hrgovic. And now, I'm reading this here, that Everything Boxing are reporting the IBF have ordered a final eliminator, and this is to determine Daniel Dubois' mandatory challenger between Filip Hrgovic and, it's not Derek Chisora, Frank Sanchez. What the hell is going on? Seemed like Chisora was dead set keen on, going ahead with the Dubois fight, or certainly fighting the winner of Dubois Usyk, which we believe will be announced in the coming days or week. Now it's been announced that the IBF are ordering another eliminator between Sanchez and Filip Hrgovic. Now, I don't hate the fight, don't get me wrong. Has Sanchez even fought since he lost to what's his name, Caballel? He has. Okay. He has, yeah, but come on. A fight against a guy 18 and 24, that's hardly, get hit. That's hardly he beat that dangerous guy. Only 24 other men have beaten him. Get that man a final eliminator. Oh, yeah. No, seriously, what the deal with Chisora? Because I think the IBF even confirmed that he was mandatory. And now he's not. And now he's not even fighting in a final eliminator. My only rationale behind that is that Chisora has a fight lined up and he fully intends on fight number 50 being the end, and that it's a big fight and he's not going to get the winner of he's not going to get Usyk or Dubois, that he may just look to go and sail off into the sunset against whoever. We have heard talk of Dylan White returning to the ring. Now, he's been talking of coming back in June. I doubt very much it's going to be June because I think Chisora has been away on holiday. I don't think he'll be coming back that soon, probably maybe August, September time thereabouts. But it does have me kind of speculating and thinking that is Chisora going to do it? He's probably going to do it in London, more likely. Is he going to do it in London, have one last fight? It's nice to say you're number one ranked by the IBF. It's nice to say you're mandatory, but are you going to go forego that? Because realistically, I don't want to see it, to be honest with you, and fight a Dylan White or really only a Dylan White, really, I think is the only fight for him, or God forbid an Anthony Joshua or someone like that. But Dylan White makes the most sense. Is that what Chisora is going to do? Because, again, a couple of weeks ago they were saying he was mandatory, and now a final eliminator has been ordered. So that doesn't make sense. If 1 week he's mandatory, why you're ordering an eliminator between two contenders? You get what I mean? As for the fight itself between Filip Hrgovic and, I was going to say Michael Hunter there, no, Frank Sanchez. Hope I didn't say his name earlier. It's quite an interesting fight. You have a real contrast of styles there. You have Hrgovic, who was a big, strong. He's got fair power, but he's not Zile Zhang or anything like that. He throws a lot of punches, and we've seen what happened. A very compromised Frank Sanchez went in there against someone who throws a lot of punches. We've seen what happened. So let's wait and see. Frank Sanchez, I am still maybe in the minority who feel as though if Frank Sanchez wasn't compromised with that knee injury, I could be wrong, but I reckon he probably would have had to beat the Caballero. I've always been impressed with Sanchez. He's not a crowd pleasing style, to say the least, but when you look at the speed, the movement, the body, he's a very talented fighter. As Frank's very talented. So I'd like to see a fully 100% Frank Sanchez against someone like a Filip Hrgovic. It'd be very interesting. How would Hrgovic deal with a mover like Sanchez, who's very fast, good in and out movement? He's got decent power himself, but I think Hrgovic, we know, he's got one of, if not the best chins in the heavyweight division. Certainly amongst the top elites of the heavyweight division, and you could arguably say he's in that. He's probably got the best chin out of all of them. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Frank Sanchez, Filip Hrgovic ordered as a final eliminator for the IBF, meaning that you would think Chisora is not mandatory. He's not mandatory. So what does that mean for Chisora? Leave it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash that and share it to Everton Boxing as well. They're on X. Great account. Absolutely top notch. I get most of my boxing news from them and Ring Magazine. Every single time, everything boxing on X. Go and give them a look. Cannot emphasize enough. One of the best channels, one of the best pages on X. Peace.